whatever you're preferable with.
Like personally, I love it when you can see.
I'm here with Adam Hughes. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Just the show started 8 seconds ago.
How does it feel like to be back in New York?
I'm from New Jersey, so coming to New York is sort of like just walking into your own backyard.
What new artwork do you have for sale today?
Well, we've got some stuff from the pages I did for the Fables, the Fairest in All the Land graphic novel that's going to be coming out at the beginning of November.
Sorry about that, people.
It's New York.
Yeah.
I did a Carol Danvers Captain Marvel original piece for the charity auction that's going to be for this weekend. The proceeds benefit the St. Jude's Children's Research. So we've got that as well, and the usual sort of like sketchbooks and prints.
My next question comes straight from my older brother, who's a really big fan of yours, and he asks, "What deal with the devil did you make to be this good?"
I guess it was I don't care about my eyesight, and you can make me allergic to calories if you like. I don't know. I just I think I got the basic contract.
Oh wow. So have you ever? How much of your work have you sketched using a Cintiq?
None.
None?
None. I still do all my stuff with a pencil and paper. Only my colors are digital.
All right. Nice. And when doing a simple pencil sketch, how long would it usually take you? Like let's say, I believe on your website, before you click to go into your content, it's Wonder Woman with her hands crossed. I didn't see your website in a while, so I'm assuming that's still up on your website.
I'll take your word for it.
How long did that take you just to pencil it out?
Every editor that I've worked for will tell you this. I don't look at the clock while I'm working. How long did it take? It took as long as it needed. When I can get the artwork to a stage which I deem bearable, then I move on to either the next assignment or the next stage of that particular assignment. But I don't actually look and go, okay, it's 3 o'clock. How long is it going to take me to? Only if I'm on a deadline, like an actual, this has to be done by 7 o'clock tonight, will I go, okay, I've got 20 minutes to lay this out. I've got 2 hours to whatever. I don't clock myself usually.
And have you ever thought of doing any crossover work with other artists on the same comic book?
I've thought about it. I mean, I don't pursue it, but I've talked to other artists where we go, hey, let's do something together. And, it's just the sort of fun thing you talk about when you're standing around at a convention, but nothing ever comes of it. So. Or I'm so awful they don't want to have anything to do with me and they're just being polite.
I would think if you ever did a collaboration with J. Scott Campbell, that would actually be a good investment. Did you ever think about working with J. Scott Campbell?
I love Jeff's work to death, and I just think we come at things from two completely different points of view. And I think that Jeff and I did a project together. It would look like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's just like, oh look, there's two completely different life forms on this piece of artwork.
Mm-hmm. All right. And when you do a lot of color work, you said you do it digitally, right?
Yes.
And what is your mindset going into making a skin shade darker as opposed to the angle of what the character you drew, depending on their angle, what type of shading do you do in coloring? How do you determine that?
I determine it based on on a micro level. I pick my tones and my values and my hues. Based on what's the most important thing that needs to be accomplished by this particular brushstroke. If it's a background thing, I'm going, okay, well, the background is. Let's say in one particular piece is extremely tertiary. It's one of the last things you need to notice. Okay, well I go, all right, well I don't want the background to pop out too much, so I will pick tones and values that will be, that will sort of sublimate the piece. But if I'm okay, let's say I'm doing a picture of a character and really the most important part of the character is the face. like the facial expression, what he or she is thinking, and then second is like their body and what their body's doing. Well, then, like, when I'm picking my tones and my values, I'm going, well, what draws the most attention to the most important thing I want people to see first, which is, in this example, the face. So that at that point I go, well, I go for higher contrast values. I go for colors that maybe pop out a little bit more. And it's all, once we get to the macro stage, is all about, well, what directs the eye either towards what I want them to see or away from what I want them to see. And then it's almost at that point, it's a matter of process of elimination, where you're going, okay, well, I want characters to not look at a character's feet because their feet aren't that important in that piece. So I'm going, well, then I will de-emphasize the feet. I will not go high contrast. I will go, more subdued. And that way the answers kind of determine themselves.
All right, 2 more questions. What do you think about Copic markers?
I personally love Copic markers. I was given a set by a fan about 5 or 6 years ago at San Diego Comic-Con. And I was like, I've already got a set of markers. They're like, you're going to love these. I go, what's so special about these markers? And they just looked at me and said, they're refillable. And I went, oh. And I've grown to love the Copic markers and all of their sort of like, ancillary products. One of the big things about working with, markers specifically, but any art medium in general, is it's not just the tool that you use. Even though I'm holding up a Sharpie, just for example, it's the paper or the canvas or whatever it is you use that medium on. And people will come to me and go, I don't know how you do what you do with Copics. I'm having a hard time. And I'm going, well, what paper are you using? And they rattle off some paper. I'm going, I don't find that paper behaves well with Copics. Whatever your particular favorite marker is, your favorite pencil, your favorite this or that, you've got to then go find what paper or canvas or whatever that goes well with it. And it's like, it's like a Reese's peanut butter cup. You got to find the 2 tastes that go great together. And that's why I like Copic, was I found paper that goes well with Copics for the effects that I'm trying to achieve.
All right, and personally, I would like to see you, well, whenever you have time, to actually I want to see you draw a Batman versus Superman sketch, like from your point of view. Like I want to see how would Adam Hughes draw it from his head. Did you ever give that any thought?
No, not at all. It's like, after Dark Knight Returns, number 4, it's kind of like there's nothing I could bring to the Superman versus Batman table that would be nearly as interesting as what Frank Miller did. So I've never actually thought about it.
All right. Well, again, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. All right, thank you very much.